speakers, and fellow participants. I welcome you to day 4 of 1-week faculty development program on recent innovation and novel concepts of sustainable development, organized jointly by the Department of Civil Engineering and Applied Sciences. Let us start this session with an old Native American quote. The earth is not our inheritance from our fathers, but a loan from our children, and there is no plan B. It is my honor to introduce our esteemed speaker today, Dr. Ashwani Kumar Tiwari. Dr. Ashwani Kumar Tiwari is an assistant professor at Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi. His area of expertise include mining water resources management, hydro-geochemistry, groundwater-seawater interaction, aquifer vulnerability, and GIS. The INC-IAX Young Scientist Award 2022 has been given to him in recognition of his groundwater management and research efforts. Dr. Tiwari has authored multiple research publications in both national and international journals. He was awarded Erasmus Mundus and Marie Sklodowska-Curie Action Scholarship. In addition, he has reviewed many articles for many international publications. I would now request Dr. Rajesh Tripathi, HOD Applied Sciences, to welcome him with a planter. Dr. Tiwari will be speaking to us on the topic Mine Water, Chemistry and Utilization. So without any further delay, let's join in welcoming Dr. Ashwani Tiwari to discuss the topic.
Good morning to everyone. Thanks, madam, for the introduction. And first, I would like to thanks to the organizer for inviting me. So, today's my topic is mine water, chemistry and utilization. I would like to know how many people know about the mine water. What is the mine water? If the term is come like surface water, everyone know about the surface water. If term come about groundwater, every no one about know what is the groundwater. But the term, what is the mine water? What do you think about it?
Water in the coal mines.
Yes. Any water, any kind of water which is present in the mining area is called mine water. It can be groundwater or it can be surface water, nothing else. We give the term because it's present in the mining area. It is used for the mining purpose. That's why we call mine water. It can be groundwater or it can be surface water. So first, mining, everyone know about the mining and what is the importance of mining, you know. Still we generate around our 65% of electricity using the only coal. So we'll be moving towards the sustainability, hope so. In 2070, we're going to be net zero, as our Prime Minister have already said. So we are hoping in that direction, and you can see the changes here. If you see the Delhi, you can see the changes in Delhi because we are moving to the electricity buses now towards electricity car. So people telling is not sustainable because you're using the electricity from the coal. Exactly. But you cannot, if you tell about the sustainability, you cannot go only one hand. You have to go in both hands. Think about the situation of Delhi. Somehow you're going to reduce the pollution in Delhi. Doesn't matter you taking the energy from the coal, but you're doing some sustainable work in the city because it is required for that. So in future, maybe it's going to be changed. But now you can say for Delhi is sustainable. But not 100%, but it is good move. If you are thinking we can stop all the electricity and then we going for the sustainability, it's not possible. So at least we are moving in the right direction. So mining, we have two types of mining that you can see here. Mostly in India, we have a open cast mining and we have a underground mining. In picture you can see there's open cast mining in Madhya Pradesh. This is the coal mines, the pictures, and then we have a underground mining as well. This is the picture for the underground mining. Everyone know about this. I'm not going to much detail in it. I would like to know what you can see this one. What is this? It seems rocket launcher. This is the big dumpers. Okay. This is the overburden material. When they do the mining, especially open cast mining, they generate lots of overburden material. And these overburden material going to destroy your soil, as well as is going to be contaminate your groundwater resources. Because of due to the rain, what going to be happen? The material is going to be leached down and going to contaminate your surface water, and then going to be recharged with that surface water is going to contaminate your groundwater resources. Look, how they're going to destroy your biodiversity as well. So, doing the mining, you're going to disturb lots of environmental components, including the land, forest, habitat, as well as surface water and groundwater resources. So, if you go after 5-6 days, this plant will be not there. And if you see here, there is one water body is going. And slowly, what's going to happen? This water body is going to be blocked. And they're going to be destroyed. So I have already discussed about this, what is the mine water. Now I would like to show some pictures about the mine water, how they're discharging the mine water and how much potential mine water has. The tribal area, there is no groundwater. If there is groundwater, there is hard rock. So you have to go very deep to get the fresh water resources. And this area, we have huge amount of mine water that you can see here. This is the mine water discharging from the underground. This is one of the small pumps that you can see. And this water is directly going to discharge in open channel without any use that you can see. They're going to discharge in the open channel. And this water is going to meet to the other water bodies close to the area. There is no use of this energy. It's just discharging this energy. And if you see here, this is the open cast mining, and they have a huge amount of water there. Huge amount of water there, and they have two pumps. One pump is continuously work for 8 hours, and then they close, and then start again. It's going on, continuous process, because they have to discharge and all the water and start the mining. And this water is not going to be useful for the society. This is going to be directly discharged to the open channel. If you see here, then you can realize how they're going to discharge the water in the mining area. A huge amount, if you see this picture. Probably if you close this slide, then you can see the pictures good. I think so. If you see this picture, this one, this is underground mine, and they're going to discharge their water direct in open channel without any aids. This is loss of our energy. A country which are facing the shortage of water, a country which is totally dependent on groundwater for agriculture purpose. How many people know about how much percentage of water we use for the irrigation? Groundwater. As per CGWB data, Central Groundwater Board, we Indians utilize our 70% or more than 70% groundwater for irrigation purpose. We use less water for drinking, domestic and other purpose. We utilize most of the water, especially groundwater, for irrigation purpose. And if you use these water in future to treat it and use for the agriculture purpose, you can save the energy. That is one part of the sustainability. How look this place? Is look to do the picnic here. Something very beautiful, nice, blue water. What is this? Yes, it's mine quarry. The mine is finished and it is filled with the water. And depth you cannot imagine. Maybe 500 meters below or more than that. And this is full with the water. And that water can be utilized. Okay, this is the study area of Madhya Pradesh. I'm talking about. We have surface water resources as well, like Son River is passing from there. Then we have a well water, we have a pond water. We have other resources as well. Now I have one question. If I offer one packet bottle and one tap water, which one you prefer to drink? Mineral water. It also has mineral. Tap water also has mineral. The term is a mineral water. But why? Why not tap water? How you can say that?
Just telling the water we get from tap nowadays, we consider it as a contaminated water. Yeah.
No, you don't know the composition, then you cannot say that. Anything else? Why you want to drink this packet water or bottled water or Himalaya or Bisleri? Definitely, it's not appropriate, but you can say because you know the composition of that water. If you just turn your bottle, you can see the composition of sodium, potassium, magnesium, and everything. In that tap water, you don't know what is the composition. Maybe it is more good than that water, but you don't know the composition, the first things. We use the packet water or bottled water because they are follow the guidelines of Bureau of Indian Standard, BIS, and the limit of dissolved elements within the acceptable limit. We know the composition, that's why we drink. Not for this is in packet bottle or looking Himalaya or something like that. Nothing else. We know the composition, that's why we drink. And sir said the TDS. TDS is one factor It's just simple factor. You don't know what is the, how you calculate the TDS, you don't know. What is the TDS? There is a total dissolved solid. And what is this? How it come? How it come? TDS is just factor. The people come in your home and say your RO is TDS is less than 100 mg per liter. You can drink it. No, you cannot drink it. 100 mg per liter is very less. It's not good for your children's growth, even for yourself as well. You need minerals. So, how to calculate the TDS? Anybody idea how to calculate the TDS? सबके पास आरो होगा, वो आकर पता चलता है कि TDS जो है. There is one instrument, it's a handy instrument, it's work on the principle of electrical conductivity. It's not going to measure your TDS, it's going to measure your electrical conductivity and then multiply with a factor. Okay, there is a factor, it's multiplied with your EC, you get the TDS. So suppose your electrical conductivity is 750, multiplied by 0.65, you get near about 500 TDS. It not calculate your TDS. It just calculate your electrical conductivity. It measure electrical conductivity. There is a factor. The factor is going to multiply with this in the instrument. You get a more or less TDS. Okay. What is the TDS? TDS is the plus, or you can sum up the major cation and major anions. If you want to really know what is the TDS of your water, you have to analyze your major cation and major anion. What are the major cations we consider? Calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, and major anion we consider bicarbonate, sulfate, chloride, nitrate and fluoride. Sometimes we consider half of the bicarbonate and then plus all the element, you get the correct TDS. So suppose you said your TDS is 100 or 150 mg per liter and this water is fit for drinking. No, it's not true. Because it is within the limit of BIS of 500 mg per liter, does not matter, is not contaminated with any elements. So suppose we have fluoride, is very important for the bone development, teeth development and other things. If it is greater than 1, is going to cause fluorosis. Or 1.5 is the maximum permissible limit. Greater than 1.5 is called the fluorosis or other issues, bone damage and skeletal problem and other things. So suppose you have a 150 TDS, in that the contribution of fluoride is 2%. Then your water is not safe. What is TDS? This is plus of major cation, major anion. One anion which has limit 1 mg per liter in contributing more in your TDS. Then this water is not safe for you. So drinking based on the TDS is just one parameter. That's it. Give a rough idea. But you have to know the composition of all elements. And if anybody has RO and using less than 100 mg per liter, I would like to request them, please mix with your water, fresh water.
So I suppose everyone is using less than 500.
That is really, really dangerous.
But no one is mixing.
You have to mix it. Then you have to drink it. Because you need minerals.
Then sir, what should be the correct value of the TDS?
It's around 300, 350.
300.
300, 350. According to the BIS, the limit of acceptable limit of TDS is 500 mg per liter. Okay? If it is below the 500 mg per liter, is okay, but you have to know the composition of your water that I mentioned. Doesn't matter if it is 300 mg per liter, but some element is, contributing more in that, and that might be have a problem with on your health.
But it's not that difficult how to know the different compositions.
I agree with you, but at least you have to maintain the TDS, na? Less than 100 TDS, that means you are not drinking anything. You are not getting anything.
TDS doesn't matter whether it is 300 or 500.
I'm not telling TDS not matter. TDS matter is just one indicator. I'm just telling. You don't know what is the contribution of ions.
So how to know that? Is there
Then you have to go for the analysis of your water sample. Somewhere in laboratory, private laboratory or government laboratory, you have to just check the quality. What are the parameters is that? And what is their percentage of contribution to the towards the TDS? it's not so difficult, but
So at least to get our water tested in some lab or
it's really difficult, but you can request to some number of, now is in Delhi, number of private parties doing the job. Or you have all the indicators, different indicator for different element. It's costly, I know, but it's much better than to drinking 100 mg per liter TDS using the RO water.
But sir, it becomes so difficult when we call the aquaguard person every single
They have fixed, you just say, they will say, okay, and the water is, taste is very good.
that is what. If we have 350 or 400 or this ppm now, then the water will be not tasty.
There is a Burari area,
Yes,
what is the salinity of groundwater out there? The TDS is more than 500 mg per liter, 5,000 mg per liter, the Burari area, close to the Yamuna region. Salinity. Most of the Delhi zone groundwater is saline. If you go in deep, there is a salinity from the soil, from the other anthropogenic sources. I'm not telling that is wrong practice to use the RO, but at least maintain the TDS. So you have to mix with your raw water. Use half glass of the RO water, half glass of the your raw water. So what is sustainability? Everyone know about meeting the needs of the present without compromising ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. This is the UN statement. But what about the environmental sustainability? How we define the environmental sustainability?
I suppose it is also related to this. We have to meet our present
Yes, with natural resources,
without compromising.
with the environment, with the natural resources. Similar concept with the natural resources. Why it is required? There is number of things you have to know. There is data around 20% of the death across the globe is due to the environmental factors. Many people, they don't know what they are drinking in terms of the water. In case of the water, they don't know what they are drinking. And like if you go in a COVID situation, the people were telling everything was clean, neat and clean. Like Ganga river is looking so beautiful in Haridwar, transparent. Suspended particulate matter is settled down. Does not matter, it is not contaminated. It's just the particulate matter is settled down. But if you give the time to the nature, nature can revive themselves. For example, if you go in a village area and ask to the old people which water is fresh, pond water or river water, what they say? Always river water is fresh compared to the pond water. What is the reason behind it? Yes, because it's the flowing water and it has a contact with the oxygen and their microorganisms doing their job and degrade the contaminant. So it is fresh water. If water going to be stand and what going to be of pond water, there is no outlet inlet, then stagnant water, there is a nutrient is coming, eutrophication is going on, and other contamination is going to be increased. So in case of the Ganga, same thing happened. When you give the time, no interference of human interference, this big river, and it has capability to restore. Yeah, that's I'm telling. They have capability to restore themselves. You don't need, just avoid the human interference. If you're not doing anything, you save more environment. Trust me. If you're not doing anything for environment, you're saving more environment. I was participated in one event to Yamuna Bachao. You don't believe me, there is a Manav Shrinkhala to Yamuna Bachao, and after the Manav Shrinkhala, there are more than 1 truck garbage, plastic bottle, these, cap, and other things. What Yamuna Bachao? You make a human Shrinkhala to Yamuna Bachao and you create lots of environmental problem there. If you don't go, much better. Don't do for environment. Just sit at home, your home, you will save the environment. This is true. आप जाओगे पानी लोगे, कैप लोगे, फिर व्हीकल लेके वहां तक पहुंचोगे, वहां मानव श्रृंखला बनाओगे, सेल्फी खींचोगे, पोस्ट करके वापस आ जाओगे। थिंक अबाउट, आपने आपने कार्बन भी निकाल दिया, प्लास्टिक भी जनरेट कर दिया, पानी भी पी के फेंक दिया, वो भी वज्र गर्मी में।
इवेंट्स के लिए नहीं, ये तो वैसे भी जब जाते हैं हर समर से लोग घूमने जाते हैं।
डेफिनेटली सर,
गो टू स्टेशन, वी गो टू
अभी उत्तराखंड का पूरा हालत खराब है।
खराब करने जाते हैं लोग, अपने को ठीक करने जाते हैं।
In sustainability, there is a 5P. What is 5P? जो सस्टेनेबिलिटी है हमारा, उसमें एक 5P है। क्या है 5P? जो 2030 goals है, there is mention is 5P. What is the 5P? Anybody have any idea? No. So planet, people, prosperity, peace, and partnership. This is the 5P. This is the part of the Sustainable Development Goal. That is 5P. It is indicating different moral values: planet, people, prosperity, partnership, and peace. So how many agenda we have? Yeah, this is the, I think, program for sustainability. Yes. And how many targets we have? And we are discussing about water. Clean water and sanitation is a 6 number. So we have 17 goals and 169 targets. Every goal has their own targets. Okay, I am discussing about the goal number 6, and this is the clean water and sanitation. Now, why it is required to study the mine water chemistry, and why it is required to be think about it? Because at least according to the report, 3 billion people, they don't know what they are drinking. Around in the globe, on the globe, around 3 billion people, they don't know what they are drinking. That's I'm telling. You have to know what you are drinking. And I have shown some pictures previously. You have to think how much mine water is going to be discharged without any use. And a country like India, now its population is increasing, the demand is increasing day by day. We don't have that much, reserve resources. So in this situation, what we need? At least we have to save the energy. So energy, that means discharging of mine water without any use. At least if you not make it drinkable, at least use for the irrigation purpose. So you can reduce the load on the groundwater resources. And somebody, madam, has said most of the groundwater resources are contaminated. So if you say you want to drink surface water, everybody said no, I don't want to drink surface water. If you go in the past, people depended on only surface water. They don't know technology how to withdraw the groundwater. So we are totally dependent on the surface water. Our civilization started from the bank of the surface water. But now we don't trust because of the contamination. And it is only due to us. Day by day our demand is increasing. Where we are, this is the recharging place. Now we are standing here. If you go in 50 years or 30 years back, it is the place where the groundwater is going to be recharged. It's agricultural land. Our area is fixed. Area is fixed. It's not going to be, increase or decrease. What we do, our recharge rate is going to be decreased due to the urban development, urban expansion. Concrete, everywhere concrete. Where is going to be recharged? It's a natural process. If you see the report of CGWB, still our 75% of the aquifers recharge during the monsoon. Only during the monsoon our aquifers recharge, and which provide the water for other months. So if you're going to make the everywhere development and concrete, area is going to be reduced, and recharge is going to be decreased, and then it's going to be problem. Like sir is coming from the region I know very well. There is a Champaka. It is very popular in his state, in his district. The water is around 10 meters or less than 10 meters. Now, if you go in this period, it's not functional. You have to go more deep. We are from the bank of the Ganga River, Gomti, Yamuna is there, and we don't have water. We have to go at least 50, more than 50, feet, or sometime 100 feet to get the water. And previous was not like that. Only, I think, 10 or 15 feet, you get a water. It's changing within 20 years. So what is the crisis? This picture is not common. Is picture common for us, but not for the foreigners. It is very common for us, because we see this is picture of Jharia, Jharkhand. I, clicked this picture during my PhD. I was doing my PhD in West Bokaro coalfield. When I go to field, I can see this. The people waiting for the fresh water for survival. Because in mining area, it's very difficult to get fresh groundwater resources. If there is any hand pump is contaminated with the iron. I don't know if you people notice my previous slide. There is one hand pump, and then there is one bucket which is rich with the iron, reddish color. So people, what they do, this is illegal activity. There is a pipeline, they have broken that pipeline and it's continuous flowing. And they have to totally depend on it.
Last month we seen some in Delhi itself.
सर दिल्ली में तो बड़ी फैसिलिटी है, कहीं से आपको मिल जाता है, दिल्ली जल बोर्ड पहुंचा देती है. If you go in tribal areas, it's very difficult. आप शहर में हैं तो इजी है, लेकिन आप ट्राइबल में जाइए, जैसे ये आपको पिक्चर में दिखा रहा हूँ, that is a मध्य प्रदेश, in tribal area. And if you see here, that I mentioned, study area has groundwater. I mentioned in my previous slide. It has mine water, also has groundwater. But groundwater, that you can see the red precipitation is contaminated with the iron that you cannot use directly. Surface water is contaminated. Okay. Well water, that you can see the well water, the people using that water is not safe, is contaminated. And then, if you see this one, what indicating? वो हुक लगा हुआ है साइकिल में. It is suggesting that is not one day job. इसका नहीं है कि इसका मतलब है कि इनका रोज का काम है ये. They have to do that. इनको घर से अपने आना पड़ता है, भर के ले जाना पड़ता है. And here we get easily. And just remember this well. I will tell the story about it last. So I'm going to just discuss about little bit about my research. So I done my PhD on West Bokaro coalfield. This is West Bokaro coalfield. It is separated with the Lugu hill. This is the hill. It is separated to the two coalfield, East Bokaro coalfield and West Bokaro coalfield. It is in a Ramgarh district. And for us, geology is very important. So most of the coal seams are present in the Barakar formation. This is local terminology. If you go in Raniganj formation, Panchayat formation, Barakar formation. So in my study area, all the coal reserve, mostly the coal reserve present in the Barakar formation. So this is the mine water. There is a term OCM and UGM. OCM is an open cast mine, and UGM, that means underground mine. So I have collected 10 samples from open cast mine and 5 samples from the underground mine from 2 seasons. Now you can see here, I'm just telling few parameters which is very important, like electrical conductivity, sulfate, and TDS and total hardness. Here, what would be the source of the sulfate in mining area? Anybody have any idea? Why sulfate is high? What is the reason behind it? क्या हो सकता है? Then the pH should be very less. If you see the pH, it's 6.6 to 8.3. Can be possible because it's gypsum. It has formula CaSO4. Anything else? और क्या हो सकता है? There is pyrite. If you go in a mining area, it's reported in the Indian mines. After every seam, there is a one layer of the pyrite. Okay? So when it's a pyrite, and Madam said it's going to react, it's going to reduce your pH level. It creates acid maintenance problem. If you go in the northeast, you have that problem. If you go in Africa, you have that problem. But here not. Why? Because of the buffering of the carbonate minerals that Madam said. There is a present in the soil is the calcareous soil which maintain the pH. But there is a dissolution of the pyrite, and that pyrite create the high concentration of iron and sulfate. So if you see here major ion chemistry, so if you can see mostly, sorry, it is ion chemistry. If you see here, mostly bicarbonate is dominating, sulfate is dominating, then bicarbonate. If you see the freshwater chemistry, it is dominated by the calcium, magnesium and bicarbonate. The freshwater chemistry. But here, bicarbonate is second dominant. Which one is the most dominant? That is a sulfate. So you can see strong acid dominated the weak acid. But generally in a freshwater chemistry, what going to be happen? The bicarbonate is the most dominant in ion. But in my case, the sulfate was the most dominant because of the dissolution of the pyrite and gypsum. Similarly, here you can see the concentration of calcium, then you have a magnesium, and then you have a sodium and potassium. That is indicating mostly calcium, magnesium coming from the carbonate weathering. Can be limestone, can be other minerals. This is one diagram. This is called Piper diagram. I don't know how many people know about it. This is Piper diagram. This is very easy to understand what is water type. And then possible sources. So if you see here, most of the sample fall in class 6. That is indicating my water is dominated by the calcium, magnesium and sulfate. If it is going to be fresh water, what going to be happen? In fresh water, most of the sample should be fall here. In freshwater chemistry, sample will fall here. Calcium, magnesium and bicarbonate dominancy. But this is the mine water and there is a dissolution of pyrite and other things. The concentration of sulfate is very high. That's why my most of the sample fall in the class of calcium, magnesium and sulfate. If sample fall here, then what is indicating?
Sodium chloride, salt.
That is a seawater. Yeah, seawater composition, saline water. If the class fall here, if you go in coastal area, most of the groundwater sample fall here, where is a seawater intrusion is going on because of the high salinity, sodium and chloride. This is another diagram, that is Gibbs diagram. It helps to understand. It is dominated by your water chemistry, controlled by the precipitation or weathering or evaporation. So if you see here, in both the season, in both the plot and Gibbs plot, it is indicating that my water chemistry was controlled by the weathering of minerals. And then we have compared data with the health parameters. Okay, there is a guideline, it is old one. Now we have a 2012 BIS, updated one. And this is the old version. So if you see here, what we have, sulfate exceeding the desirable limit, TDS and total hardness. These three parameters which is exceeding the guidelines. And then we have calculated the different indices to calculate the whether your water is suitable for irrigation purpose or not. Especially this is the mine water. Whether mine water is suitable for the irrigation or not. So there is a number of calculation. Let's say we calculate the water quality index, air quality index. Similarly, we have a calculation that is sodium absorption ratio, percentage sodium, Kali index, magnesium hazard. So there is a guideline. Like suppose in magnesium hazard, if it is going to greater than 50, this is the water is unsuitable for the irrigation purpose. You cannot use for the irrigation purpose. It's going to might be create a problem for your soil. Similarly, this is the diagram that you can see. If you have high saline, high electrical conductivity, what going to be happen? If you irrigate your land with high EC, one day what going to be happen? Your soil going to be saline. Slowly is going to be saline. If you are, irrigating with the high sodium concentration, what going to be happen? Your soil slowly going to be alkaline in nature. You don't know, but it's slowly so it's going to be changed. And then it's going to be affect your production. So in case we don't have problem of sodium, but we have problem of electrical conductivity. That means we have to control the electrical conductivity of mine water, reduce it, and then you can use this water without any problem for irrigation purpose. And then we have compared something about the different coal field, different coal field, different type of water, and what are the parameter is unacceptable. So if you see in most of the cases in Indian mine, different mines and different state, you see only problem, sulfate, total hardness, and TDS, mostly. Similarly, if you go in metal, we have problem with the iron. As I said, there is pyrite, so iron is come. So iron and magnesium, if you see everywhere. I'm showing this one to let you know that in our mine water system, we are lucky, not much contaminated. We don't have acid mine problem. We have few elements which is exceeding the acceptable limit. So we can utilize it with appropriate technology. We don't have to spend lots of money to treat it. अगर वो acid mine रहता तो it's very difficult to treat. First you have to maintain the pH, then start the process. But here we are lucky. Our pH is already naturally maintained due to the buffering of carbonates. And we have only problem of sulfate or TDS or some iron and manganese. Now one thing, we know only one thing, when we say mining, what we thought? They're going to destroy our environment. पहला हमारा क्या आता है, सोच यही होती है ना, माइनिंग बोल दिया तो मतलब ये गलत ही होंगे. कितने लोग माइनिंग में गए हैं, ये माइनिंग एरिया में? If you go in the mining area, we always sit here in the AC room and blaming them. They are not doing anything. Trust me, they are doing more than you for the society and for the environment. We have to see both the perspective. Okay, they are contaminating the environment, no doubt. But on the other hand, they are doing many good jobs as well. You have to notice this and you have to recognize it. For example, most of the mining area have a treatment plant. They have not up to that level, but they have treatment plant. What they are doing, they are just have a settling the water, go for the next level, pressure filter, and treat it with chlorine or something, and then discharge to the society. So we are thinking they are not doing anything. They are doing many things. This is one market, big market in Umaria, and they have connected, the coal mines have connected with the treatment plant for the market people. So most of the market people get water from here only. They come and they take it for the drink and other purpose. This is not any, borewell or something. This is mine water. The mining authority, based on the request of the farmers, they have pipeline to their land. And when they require, they call, they just open the channel and you get this water for irrigation purpose. There is two way, ma'am. Sometimes they treat, sometimes they cannot, because the huge amount of water they have to discharge. That I mentioned, there is not much harmful elements for irrigation purpose. Not much, only iron and manganese I mentioned. Very less. We are telling we are lucky to, if you compare to African mining, is very difficult. Indian mines. Our pH is maintained and we have contamination. No doubt we have contamination, but think about our requirement. At least they have some facilities. Sometimes they treat and they supply to society for drinking purpose, but most of the cases for irrigation, they don't have that much capacity to, treat it. Now look here. That you said, madam, look, this is the precipitation of iron that you can see here, easily. This is mine water. The tribal people ask, please, open your channel so they can have some daily activities for them. And this is going to be recharged the local pond as well. Yes, there is. Iron is a common problem in India. But at a certain level, if it's going to be much, then it's going to be a problem. Now what they do? They use their water for dust control. That is good practice. They don't have big data groundwater. They use their mine water to the dust separation and other things. In the mining area, it's a big problem. Now I'm going to discuss about best example, which is already implemented in Jharia with the project between the CSIR and Coal India. Okay, they have developed one 4,000 liter per hour mine water treatment plant, and this water they're going to supply to the society for drinking and irrigation purpose. They have big tank, they're going to treat it, store it, and then supply to the society. This is flow chart. What they do, they just have a storage, directly the raw water from the plant, and then they have an aeration. Then they have develop some alol-philol concept. They're going to put it that one, make the settling tank, settle the particles. Then they can go to next step for the treatment. There is an ion exchange or pressure filter. After that, they're going to do the microbiological, remove the contamination, biological contamination. They have a ozone. And after that, they can pump directly to the society, or they can pump for the supply. They have a 6 step. What steps? Input of with high TDS, TSS, sulfate, hardness, dissolved metal, and coal fines. Then they have a gravity settling to remove the suspended solid that I mentioned. Then what going to be happen? They're going to be, with bacteria and high TDS dissolved, they're going to treat this removal with iron or metal, newly developed material, that is a alol and philol. It's developed by them. They don't disclose their material. And then what going to be happen? They're going to further remove the TDS through the pressure filter or reverse osmosis. Then they're going to do the bacterial treatment with the ozone, and this water is potable for the drinking purpose and is successfully running under the control of the BCCL in Jharia. So if we can develop this kind of treatment plant to other coal mines, which is advanced, and what would be the cost for 1 liter treatment? Any idea? To treat 1 liter water, how much cost it come? 10 paise. When it's implemented, that time is cost what 10 paise per liter treatment. Think about how much is, cost effective. So if we can develop this kind of plant, or government can develop this kind of plant, most of the mining area, then we can control the crisis. Now second that you can see here, this is the plantation. After the mining, mining closure, they give that land to the forest department to do the forestation. And the unique thing, before start the mining, what they do? They preserve their topsoil. They preserve the topsoil, and then they use when the mining is going to be closed. We don't know these things. When you go and interact with them, then you're going to know what regulation they are following. It's not like that they just come and just start mining. No, they have proper environmental regulations. They have to preserve that soil, and then further they're going to use it for forestation. And one example that you can see is very common in everywhere, but it's not, if you see these things in the mining area, you have to be surprised. They are saving the tree, and their transportation rate is very high. Truck पे truck चलती रहती हैं. But what they do? This is all the mining areas, route developed by the mining areas, and they protect a single tree as well. कौन पूछने जा रहा है ट्राइबल में काट के निकाल देते हैं? Who's going to ask? Nobody is going to ask. But this is the practice. You can say they are doing their job, so we cannot blame them. And when you go field, you meet people like him. It's a good experience interacting with him. I was collecting sample from his well, and he was drunk. He came, he said, "You have put some acid in my well. Now you cannot go." And when you are in a Madhya Pradesh, in tribal area, think about what's going to be happen. It took more than 45 minutes, and in 45 minutes I convinced him without us paying single rupees. The target was to get some money, to drink or something. It's easy to say ना कि आपने कुछ डाल दिया मेरे खून में, and he has Reliance Mobile and making the video of that. He's telling, बोलिए आपने क्या डाला है, बोलिए मैं रिकॉर्ड करता हूँ. And then he calling to the other people, local people, and most of them are same category, so it's very challenging. Somehow I was lucky कि बगल में प्राइमरी स्कूल था, and then headmaster came, उन्होंने थोड़ा सा बीच बचाव किया, the मामला is going to be settled. So if you go in the field, you have to face problem like him. 45 minutes argument, every time argument. No, you have put some acid in my well. I was measuring the water level with the instrument, with the sensor instrument, measuring the water level, water table, and then he saw I have put something in his well. Now you have to face this kind of problem as well. Suppose if you go in a tribal area, this is still in Jharia or Ramgarh, what they do? जिस दिन उनको मुर्गा खाना होता है, they are just looking the Bharat Sarkar vehicle. We have faced this problem in tribal area. हम लोग सिंपल में थे तो भारत सरकार लिख के जाती थी गाड़ी, CSIR की गाड़ी, भारत सरकार. आपके सामने वो मुर्गी फेंक देंगे, when it's going to dead, then argument start. मुर्गा भी नहीं फेंकेंगे, मुर्गी. The reason, जब ये बच्चा देती, फिर इससे इतना होता, फिर इससे इतना होता, नहीं दोगे आपका शीशा तोड़ देंगे, something like that, then you have to settle in between 2,000 to 5,000 rupees if you want to be very safe. So when you go in tribal area, I know there is a problem, but there is also challenges. You have to be very polite and very smiley, otherwise if you're going to say anything, it's very difficult. So I would like to thanks to the mining authorities as well as the two projects is going on from the UGC and SCRB and JNU. So I'd like to know about this picture. क्या समझ में आ रहा है आपको इससे? बंदर पानी पी रहा है and पानी भी transparent है, you can see the sediments easily. This is Son River in Madhya Pradesh near the gold mining areas. क्या आपका opinion है इस पे? नहीं, ये तो Son River है, river water, the monkey drinking the water. And look how neat and clean, transparent. Any idea? Huh? The just simple thing, the conclusion of my talk, if anything looking neat and clean does not mean it's not contaminated. This water is looking so clean, so neat, does not mean it's not contaminated, because you don't know the dissolved elements. What are the dissolved elements in it? And we human, we have facility, we can do that, analysis it. But what about the animals? They have to drink it. Doesn't matter. For us, we have other resources, groundwater, we can withdraw, we can drink. It's safe for us. But think about other animals who is dependent on these water bodies. And when you think, then you realize what much pain they are suffering. They have also problem with the quality of water. They are going to drink. They have some issues. For us, we have many options. For them, we don't have options. Thank you. If anybody have any questions, suggestions, please. Is there any question?
Sir, have you worked on water treatment also apart from water analysis?
Not really, but my job was testing the water and generate the database. Because in one analysis you cannot say this is the contaminant. You have to go for multiple times and multiple seasons, because the chemistry is changing. Water chemistry is very easily changing by 3 months or season basis. So you have to be very sure before to go the treatment. You have to generate the database. You have to be sure this is the element that we are going to target. So first 3 years we generate the database in that mining project. We generate the database, 3 years of database, then we decided to treat the water. And what are the elements we have to consider. What are you coming from? the sewage treatment also. So this is just the removal of the your sodium and other things to control the corrosion. Now, like we have a JLD. Like similarly, we have concept of JLD. JLD is a zero liquid discharge policy. Now we have to follow that policy. You cannot discharge a drop of water from your things. So most of the industry has to follow. So what they do, they use water and water tank continuous many times for different purposes. So you cannot use for drinking purpose, but you can use for the irrigation purpose, or gardening, or other things. So or for washroom. So they have these things. They're going to divide in different factors. Probably not fit for the drinking purpose, but it's fit for the other purpose. So now it's a big concept JLD. It's not disadvantage, but the thing is that now we have to depend on our. This is not our fault. So something like in Delhi especially, where we getting Yamuna water, we don't need the proper RO. Okay, we need only filter the water because it's already treated. And TDS is less than 300 mg per liter, which is just we have to kill the microbial contamination and then use it. But we use RO. What's going to be happen? They're going to reduce your other suppress the elements again. So we don't require. So first we have to know what kind of water we are getting. So what is the composition of that water? If we are getting groundwater with high TDS, then RO is good. But if you are getting Yamuna water, which is already treated, then just you have to kill the microbes. That's it. Simple filter unit. Simple filter unit in the market and less costly. Simple filter. Most of the, if you go in Basankunj area, everyone getting water from the Yamuna water, treated Yamuna river water. So there, I don't think so you require the RO. RO is good when you have a high concentration of salt or something. You're getting less salt and then you want to suppress it.
ये जो आपने बताया कि जो वाटर है इसको इरिगेशन में यूज कर सर वहाँ जो नजदीक वाले हैं वो तो करते हैं सामने अभी दिखाया
आपको स्टोरी बताना पड़ेगा, इसलिए वो याद रखना है. Okay, this one, the well.
इसकी स्टोरी बताइए.
हाँ, इसकी स्टोरी बताना भूल गया. So suppose during the post monsoon, the water level is
डाउन
after the rain. Generally, you get water level is more close to the surface. Okay. And during the pre-monsoon, you get the water level more below the surface, down the surface. I was monitoring this well during both seasons, post and pre. What I found, कि यहाँ पे pre-monsoon में water level close to the surface. So I check my readings, previous reading. मुझे doubt हुआ. I checked your came. ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? तो water level नीचे जाना चाहिए generally. लेकिन water level क्या था? Coast से ज़्यादा था. I was confused. And I asked the people, भाई क्या हो सकता है? तो उन्होंने बताया, the mine when is well going to be dry. This is hard rock. ठीक है? Well के नीचे hard rock है. और pollution उतना होता नहीं. Infiltration उतना होता नहीं क्योंकि hard है. तो जैसे ही पानी खत्म होता है ये फोन कर देते हैं. माइन से पानी खत्म हो गया. वो टैंकर लेके आते हैं रिचार्ज कर देते हैं. वेल इंजन चलता है फिर वो फोन कर देते हैं. लकली जो है मेरे साथ क्या हुआ वो रिचार्ज था. मैंने पूछा तो बताया कि अभी तो कल ही रिचार्ज करके गया इसलिए वाटर लेवल मुझे ज़्यादा मिला. देन आई हैव टू रिमूव दैट पॉइंट. माय रिसर्च आई रिमूव दैट दैट इज नॉट नेचुरल प्रोसेस. आई हैव टू गो टू नेचुरल प्रोसेस रिमूव.
पॉन्ड में जनरेशन
पानी नहीं है तो प्लीज छोड़ दीजिए, पानी छोड़ दीजिए। तुमको क्या दिक्कत है? मुझे पानी की कमी थोड़ी है।
पानी की कमी नहीं सर, वो लगाए हुए हैं उन्होंने वो
पाइपलाइन से जोड़ रखा है, गाँव वाले को प्रॉब्लम करता है।
ये कर तो रहे हैं ना, यूटिलाइज तो हो रहा है उसका।
देखिए यूटिलाइज हो रहा है, लेकिन आप जिस लेवल पे और जिस सेफ्टी से कर सकते हैं वो नहीं कर रहे हो। ये तो डिमांड है, आप कर रहे हो और मैं सेटिस्फाइड हूँ, आपको जो है कुछ कह नहीं रहा हूँ, लीगली तो नहीं कर सकते आप। चलिए मैम, आपका कैमरा आपने बता देते हैं। ठीक है।
सर अभी दूसरा क्वेश्चन मेरा ये है, एक जगह पिछले 3 से एक फोटो ले लेते हैं, अच्छा ठीक है,